In the air, on the road, and yes, into another European chancellery. For months, David Davis has embarked on an odyssey around our neighbouring continent to build support for his vision of Brexit. It's Wednesday, so that must mean a morning RAF plane to shuttle the Brexit Secretary to 2 EU capitals, encompassing what was once dubbed Old and New Europe.
Alice, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We've made it.
Welcome back. Yes.
First up is Copenhagen.
No icebergs.
So you're used to exercising real power then? You might say that. Slow things down at least.
So David Davis is now settling in for the first meeting of the day with Anna Samuelson, the Danish Foreign Minister. He'll be hoping for a reasonably friendly reception. Denmark is traditionally on the more Eurosceptic side in the EU rather than the federalist side. And, of course, Denmark joined the EEC on the same day as the UK in 1973.
We talked about some of the issues where we agree, some where they're not so sure, what we do about product standards, what we do about customs, they were interested in Northern Ireland, all that sort of thing. And that's par for the course, actually. This is probably country number 17, 18, something like that, of this tour. And that's what we're getting everywhere. What is it exactly we're going to do?
So this has been David Davis's life for the last few months. Spurning the chance of a comfy pad in Brussels, he's been touring EU capitals to try and find a chink in the surprisingly united EU front on Brexit. Britain believes that the final Brexit deal will be done in the last hours and minutes of the Brexit negotiations, and while it will be done in Brussels, at that point the UK will need allies and friends amongst EU leaders who will ultimately call the shots. We've now swapped the 1970s functionalism of Copenhagen for the early Baroque splendour of the Czech Foreign Ministry. The Czech Republic's membership of the EU realised a dream of David Davis's great heroine Margaret Thatcher: spread the EU east and dilute federalism. He's now over there meeting the Czech Foreign Minister, no doubt hoping for a reward.
The role of Great Britain as far as security is concerned is absolutely crucial for Europe. And as I said to your minister, by Brexit, the British Channel is not wider.
So David Davis, here we are in Prague, not in Brussels. Your good friend Michel Barnier has been complaining that you're not actually in Brussels. Are you going to answer his call and turn up there?
Now, on all of these, we started discussions with the Commission, kicked off things in Downing Street about 4 weeks or so ago. I had them there and we talked through it all. Since then, my team have been working flat out, principally in Brussels, and they continue through this weekend. And I shall join them on Sunday, and we'll have another meeting with Michel on Monday. But that's just one strand. It's the Council that make the decision on what our future partnership will be. That's the member states. The council is made up of the member states. And we'll be going around, talking to them all, listening to their concerns, explaining what we've got in mind, what we aim to do, understanding what their interests are and their concerns are, so we can incorporate them and make sure that we get the right decision next week.
So one of the big crunch issues on the transition or the implementation period is the EU says it should end at the end of December 2020. The UK is saying it should be around 2 years, so that would be March 2021. Are you going to compromise on that?
More important than that, bluntly, is that we get the implementation period in place, as it were, not in place, but agreed in March. It won't be legally signed up until the autumn, but agreed in March. That's more important to me than a few months either way. So I'm not bothered too much about the question of whether it's Christmas 2020 or Easter 2021.
So if it means Christmas 2020, you'd live with that?
I'd live with that. I mean, but this is we're still in the middle of negotiation, but frankly, what I would not do is delay the decision, as it were, in order to get a month or two more.
So on the implementation period, can you reassure some of your colleagues at Westminster who are concerned that the UK will just be a vassal state? I mean, will the UK be able to stick up for itself?
We want to have in place, and we will have in place, I think, a joint committee which will oversee any issues like this that come up, and a duty of good faith on both sides, so neither side is disadvantaged. So we won't fall into Mr. Rees-Mogg's interesting definition of our position.
For now, this European odyssey is winding down as David Davis turns his attention back to Brussels.